Started. We're going.
You saying?
How you doing?
Good, bro.
How's business?
Good, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so obviously
I don't know if it's... Oh, it is working now.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's
Just,
horrible.
you know what? Move this out of the way. Move that one.
Do I need it really close to my face, or is it okay there?
Yeah,
Rolling.
you do need to be a bit closer to the mic. Don't be scared of Mikey.
Can I pick it up?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Calm.
Okay.
How's business?
yeah, man. Business is good, bro. So obviously, service accommodation is it is a property strategy, but realistically, it's a hospitality business.
Yeah.
So so the growth from there is obviously looking at different things like mini hotels and different kind of hospitality renting sectors. So like I've been looking into things like your glamping pods.
What's that?
It's like in between like a cabin.
It's like a posh camping.
Yeah,
Oh,
like in between camping and like a lodge.
Oh, so that's what you want to get into now?
Yeah. So that's more down the hospitality. So I'm just looking at different options.
Okay.
More down
You
the
know where
hospitality.
that pops off up by like North Wales kind of way? I know someone who's bought land up that way.
I'm trying to get some. But I'm trying to look for some locations like just on the outskirts of the Birmingham city centre. Really, like
on the outskirts?
bro, like you know when you start driving.
Like Tamworth and them kind of place.
Yeah, just before you get to like the certain green areas, man. I'm trying to find a good location where you got a decent view of the city. You know what I'm saying? It's not too gangster.
And who would...
Just so people feel safe.
Feel alright going to sleep in the open.
Exactly.
and who would you be targeting for that? Because I know some of them are set up for like
tourist market. Yeah, tourist market. Another thing I was looking at as well is like I don't know if you've seen like Tesla. There's talks about them releasing like these smart homes.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, like modular smart homes, like 20k mark.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I think
what's a smart home?
I think it's where everything's electric, isn't it? Everything's sort of done on an iPad or something.
Is it? Oh, is that what you mean?
I don't know. I feel like I might
That's what. Well,
there's gonna be parts of that in it, but from what I've looked at, it's just like cheap, affordable, modular housing. But obviously, if it's made by Tesla, then it's gonna have a buzz around it. So
yeah,
I was looking into different options down the hospitality route, if that makes sense.
That's kind of what Level Smart was supposed to be. So you see that mirror up there?
Mm-hmm.
That's it's an Android as well. It's got YouTube apps and all that on there as well. So when we did go to China for our products, that our intention was to make everything smart in your house, innit? So we had the switches, the smart switches, the Android mirrors. What else?
I know. I just remember the switches. I remember it.
Light bulbs.
Light bulbs.
You know
yeah.
about it. You got a couple of things in there.
Yeah.
From back in the day, man.
To be honest, I guess every element of the house can be.
Yeah.
You've even got now like you can get like a fridge and
Yeah.
you can have like an iPad in
On the fridge,
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say that, but you didn't. Did you have that?
Basically, our mirrors, was supposed to be able to design to like you can put it up and use it as a hub for your anything smart as well, innit?
But you had a long one, and like you had a massive long one,
I
didn't
got
you?
it in my kitchen.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I was gonna say, fridge. But I knew it wasn't a fridge in it. But I remember you had one
Yeah,
in the kitchen.
What's that one you got in the house? Just a long version to that.
Yeah, long versions of that one.
And what
Okay.
can you do on them?
Everything. It's an Android, so it basically
right.
runs all programs.
Like a media hub.
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and then obviously it's a mirror as well. So like you can see now, you can't really see anything on there. You can look straight through, but when it's a touch screen, so you touch it and Bob's your uncle. There's a light behind it as well.
Okay.
But the only thing is with technology for me is because I'm not in a technological space. Like being up to date
Moves
with
quick, innit?
it moves too quick.
yeah.
So me being a person that's not directly a tech guy, for me to keep up to date with that as a business is
The
a bit of a
hardware,
ask.
the hardware gets outdated.
I'd
quick.
have to be a web developer, or I'd have to have someone of that kind of ilk alongside me just to ensure that everything's just updated.
Yeah.
Do we have to be like knowledgeable about the fields that we're in to like thrive in that field? Do you have to be someone?
I would say in that area when it comes to tech, it's too fast, bro. It's too fast. So when we were selling them at the time, going like hotcake, but then when I was coming to do my next order from China and then trying to get the product made, the time between getting it made and then it landing, things are going out of date, kind of. You know what I'm saying? And like I says, I can't personally keep up to date with it because it's not my area of expertise. It's just something that I was interested in as a business.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say that's probably where that business kind of failed a bit. You get it?
I think that's the path of an entrepreneur, though. You
Yeah.
try different things. Some things work, some things don't work until you get to the thing that works for you, innit?
Yeah.
100%, and you pick up knowledge on the way from all different
Yeah.
sectors. Like you said, that was your kind of experience of the tech sector, and now
Mhm.
you've come out there with some knowledge,
Yeah.
some things that you would do again, some things you wouldn't do again. So
Yeah, basically.
yeah, man.
But then I still see you implementing that into the current businesses.
And I still
ventures that
put
you
in,
do.
yeah. I've
So-
got one of them in here. There's one in the gym.
Mm.
And there's things that I've learned from actually going to China to market and getting things made that I'll continue to do, but just selling them type of products is too much for me
Mm.
personally.
What was your
Okay.
experience like going to China? Now?
Well, it wasn't me who went to China. It
was the team. Yeah,
it was Gurge next door
Okay.
who actually went. He spent like 6 months over there, got links, got to know people very well, and made very good connections in terms of factories. That's like, if you're going to China as an English person and you don't really know much, one, you can get robbed, and two, you're not gonna get there. There's like a China to China price, and there's a
China to English, yeah.
to the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So it's just it's all networking, innit?
Okay.
It's all networking, really. Yeah.
Cool.
How's business?
If I said it was easy, I would be lying.
It's never
It's
easy.
never easy.
It's never easy, man. It's never easy. Sometimes I'm thinking it was easy when you were small. It was
Yeah.
easier when you were small and you knew where everything was.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that's screaming out to me is the systems and processes. Like, I can't go any further. I can't go any further until everyone is operating the same way.
Mhm.
And if they make a mistake, did you follow step 10? That's where it was. Okay, I need to be able to talk like that, where everyone's singing off the same hymn sheet.
Yeah.
Not it's working because one person is particularly good and they're able to improvise, and it hides the problem.
Yeah.
I need to know that everyone is behaving in the same way.
Facts.
So that's what's stopping me right now. Like, I've come to the realization that sometimes you can't get more. Like, you can't. It's always about getting more money and all that kind of stuff there. But
Yeah.
sometimes until you tidy up house and until you get everything in a row,
Yeah.
you can't earn more.
100%.
It's
Yeah.
not just a case of, I'm going to work harder. Like, it doesn't matter how hard you work. If you
Yeah.
haven't tidied up certain things and put certain things in place,
It's just gonna be chaotic, and if you grow,
yeah, it's just going to be very painful.
Yeah. A bit of context for Bronte. What is it that you do?
So I do social housing
Mhm.
and property. So essentially, on one side, I will work with investors and invest myself in properties, either leasing them, buying them, developing them, ideally making HMOs. And then on the other
Cool.
side, I'm a registered provider to provide care for adults in
Cool.
those properties. So we married the two, bringing private investment to social housing. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, it is a good space, and it's
A lot of people are trying to start the whole HMOs now,
Yeah.
seeing that is a good way of branching out rather than just renting a property to one person.
Yeah, definitely. It protects you
Mhm.
because I'm hearing some horror stories about people getting keys, not paying, get me out now.
And there's a lot more rules now to
Yeah.
tenants.
Yeah,
Tenants
yeah,
have got
yeah.
a lot more rules than they used to have.
I heard this from day one. I heard a story the other day. A guy was, it might have been a podcast, or he was saying, guy was nice, couple, seemed all decent. Can we just get in there because we just want to tidy up before the tenancy starts? Can we get the keys before, pay the deposit? Yeah, no problem. Here's the keys. But they didn't sign the tenancy yet.
Yeah.
Couldn't get them out. They changed the locks on him.
but if
What
they
are
don't
you
sign the tenancy, what legal rights have they got to be there? I
Well-
thought them would be easy to get them out.
Well, how are you going to get them out though?
It's a bit like
Man, we'll get them out.
Squatters'
squatting.
rights, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
what
it.
are you going to do?
Can't just drag them out.
Well, yeah.
If they got no tenancy, bro,
Yeah.
a certain man
Yeah.
wouldn't. But you get me?
Yeah.
What would you do? Drag them out?
I feel like if I'd done that, there would be repercussions of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's so many things now that you can get done for,
Yeah.
Mm.
but I just think it's mad that there's people out there that actually do stuff like that. As in, go and lock themselves in a house and.
That's how they
Mm.
get by. At the end of the day, though, like,
That's their hustle.
that's their hustle. That's,
Mm.
if we can get 6 months out of that,
Great.
Great.
wonderful. Move on.
Mhm.
Probably move city, move
Yeah.
country. Doesn't matter.
Mhm.
So everyone's different.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Would that be happening in one of your properties, Mike?
No, it's not happening.
So you gotta vet who's coming in properly.
You
as
gotta know
well.
what's going on,
Yeah.
and they've got to know you as well,
Yeah,
because they know who they can do those kind of things to.
facts.
So
Yeah,
it goes both ways.
makes sense.
And as well, why didn't they get them to sign it? Do you know what I mean? Like, why didn't the people
They drop
who
the guard. That's the point. They drop the guard. It's like you
maybe
doing
felt
business.
sorry for them as well,
Yeah.
or something like that?
Probably tried to seal the deal, and the property probably wasn't even in the best condition.
Probably,
Yeah.
you know, there's all kind of
Yeah.
things. Just doing business with someone and you feel comfortable, especially when you think the person's got the money or got the good
The funds
intention.
there, yeah.
Oh yeah, go on and hold that, and
Mhm.
next thing you know,
Mm.
it
Es-
seemed okay.
especially as well with couples, you seem a bit as a person more trusting
Yeah, there's two of you.
rather than say like a single male or
Nah, it's
something.
true.
You
Yeah,
do
yeah.
feel a bit more trusting towards them.
Yeah, get
That's
all your
savage.
paperwork signed, man, beforehand, so you know what you're doing.
Facts. That's something that I need to work on
Yeah.
as business. Yes.
Smiling hard, you know.
Anyway,
That's,
He's in a good place, man. I can see it.
I'm in a better place. Obviously, it's bubbling in it. Like, I'm in there.
more content.
More content. Obviously, I need to do more content, but more things are happening in it. You get what I'm saying? I'm getting the shoots in, and
See you in London a lot.
that's normal stuff. though,
Aye,
innit? That's-
okay.
That's whatever, innit? I'm down there again next week. No, yeah. Next week, yeah. So that's whatever, innit? But like, the studio has to be the bread and butter, innit? Like, as we've discussed, innit? And the more and more that I'm doing it, the more and more that I'm leaning into that, and I'm understanding it, and it's what I'm going towards, innit? So one of the things that Rob Moore said, innit, and you like said it as well about VAs and stuff like that. Like, I haven't ventured into it yet, but I've got my head around how I would use one. You get me? So like, I think we spoke about this on the last podcast where you was asking who's my clientele in it, like who's the demographic of people, and I said it's everyone, but it shouldn't be everyone. Like, it is for everyone, but I have to. I have to, like I have to like aim at some person. Do you get what I'm saying? So I just feel like business professionals, creative professionals who need headshots, who need things. But that's what I would use the VA for, so they can just shoot out emails to as many people as possible, and then it's just a case of them either emails being converted into paying customers. And if they see the photos and they like them, I don't really think it should be that hard for it to convert. You get what I'm saying?
So potentially, Bronte's a potential
Candidate.
candidate.
Yeah.
Basically,
yeah,
CS
yeah.
has got his own studio
Yeah, no,
Okay.
studio space.
proper.
Where, yeah. Where
Give us something. Give us.
Sell yourself.
Yeah. So
mention size and height of these people.
Yeah. So I got a studio space. It's 770 square feet, which means nothing, but it's a decent size. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And the premise behind the studio is that I have like different materials in there so that you can kind of make makeshift sets. So you can always kind of customize it. So the outcome of your photo shoots are different. To like
The girl before or
yeah,
whatever,
to like generic white backgrounds. But at the same time with that, I've got a promotion going on at the moment where I'm doing 1 hour photo slots, and you get 10 photos from the photo slot, and then you can use them however you want to use them.
That's
But
really cute.
yeah, like I've done it with his
see that.
kids. I've done it with
But it's cool that you can use different sort of
Yeah.
diversities of people. Do you
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
You can
yeah, yeah.
You don't have to, like, it's good that you're aiming it at everyone.
yeah. Exactly.
That is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when it comes to marketing, you gotta
It's
know
good to market
who the
towards.
customer is
Yeah.
though as well.
So
ju-
that's like number one of if you was to start a business, who is your market?
Yeah.
It's
Just
number
like your
one.
man just came in,
Yeah.
and he was asking which one, the key or the
Oh,
number. People don't like so much choice.
No.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you home in on specifics when it comes to marketing, they'll understand what it is you're actually offering. If you just said, "Here's a studio, it's for everyone,"
Yeah.
I think it might go over some people's heads.
And
Uh-huh.
that's where I'm getting to now, and like I'm realizing, okay, this is a potential lane that I can go down. I understand how I can go down it, and I kind of have a better idea of what I need to do to exploit that. And I just feel it's someone shooting out emails every single day, and just providing them with the offer in it, and it's gonna convert. You get what I'm saying?
It's a numbers game.
That's
you
it.
know what? There's two things in what you said that like I needed to be reminded of, and the first thing is niching down into your demographic. And I think I'm all right with that now. But I remember going through like years of like, I don't want to turn down business. Now I turn down business because it's like, you know, it's going to take me away from my goal. I do social housing. And I find that when you really niche down, you start becoming the expert, the professional on that particular field, because no one doesn't know anyone else better than you to go to for this particular thing. So you benefit because you just start getting all of that lane.
Yeah.
And then the second thing you mentioned was the idea of outreach, the cold lead generation. And for my business, well, I guess anyone can say it. It doesn't matter what business you're in. You always got to find the thing that you can say that you can always advertise. Like, so you know, you can go to any professional that is saying they're a professional, come with your template and offer them the headshots or whatever. What does that look like for each of our businesses?
Well, see that there, that's a key thing that I stumbled across in it, in the sense of, as you like already know, my passion project is obviously All Right No Hype in it. But to get clients from that, I couldn't get my head around how I'm going to get somebody to send out emails for that particular business, because it doesn't work that way in it. But then the pennies dropped in my head, and I'm like, oh, but it does work like this for the business that I'm trying to make my bread and butter.
Right.
So let me find a VA, load it up, and get them to just shoot the emails out, because it's going to convert way more easier than the other side in it. Like that stuff, like there's still things there. Don't get it twisted. There's still things bubbling behind the scenes. And when the bag comes in, it comes in, but that's not the bag that I'm going to live off. It's not going to pay the bills. It's not going to maintain things. It's just going to be like a surplus on top. You get what I'm saying? Versus now, my approach is focus on bread and butter, and then I know what I have to do to get more people in. You get me?
Just to see that we're on the right page, and I want to ask you as well. But can you two give me an example of what that would look like for you? You've got someone here or a robot that will constantly send out messages to a demographic of people. What would you be telling it to send out, and who to?
So demographic of people?
Yeah, to bring in money for you. So what are you saying?
So that's what I've started now?
Go on.
That's my question. Because obviously, I've had obviously the gym's a franchise. We've had a few franchise meetings recently, and I didn't actually know that. Well, I did know, but I didn't know. But I did know. Every member that comes into the gym, we've obviously got the emails, we've got all the data in it. So I've got a list of every single person that's either signed up to the gym already or not here or that's already still here.
They're interested in something to do with gym.
Basically. So now it's about me creating a newsletter template monthly to either get the ones that are not
in the gym
in the gym at the moment, or the ones that are there, keep them there. So that's what I'm working on now, like making newsletters that's focused on just retaining
customer retention. And
funny enough, that
from
what I'm learning, that's where the real money is.
Exactly, and this is all data, bro. So like what Sia said, it's just about the penny
that's
dropping.
That's the returning income, isn't it? You got the new income, but then you got the returning income.
You got to remember, in most businesses, you're collecting data, and sometimes that's where the bag is.
I want to touch on that as well, because
touch on that.
I'm figuring that out as well.
Oh, man, I'm glad you said that. You know, I'm glad you said that, because sometimes you just need some. You need to hear it. You know, like all my past residents, past and present, all that kind of stuff, like literally thousands.
To the mic.
Yeah.
There's literally thousands, and like sometimes you think, how can I offer a better service to people, and how can I make them remember that I exist? It doesn't matter what business you're in. It's just how can you give them more value, and how do you make them remember, even if they go away. That email 2 months down the line, like,
100%.
It's the same with what I do, obviously, for work. It's the fact that if I'm having, say, 50,000 subscribers, they might not be subscribed anymore because I've been on the platform for...
Sorry, 50,000, what are we talking about? That's a big number, man.
It's a massive number.
All coming in at like one point within the 6 years. And they're not on the platform anymore. They might have like just not have the money to afford the subscription anymore or anything like that. So sending out that message to them that's dedicated just to them, like, hi, do you want to come back? Like, I've got an offer for you or whatever, rather than sending a message to my current ones.
Do you do that?
Yeah, I do that.
That's amazing.
but for example, if that wasn't offered on the platform, I wouldn't have been able to do that. For example, like 3 years ago, that wasn't an option. You had to manually do it, and sometimes you couldn't even, like 4 years ago, you couldn't even see your expired subscribers. It wasn't even a thing. So
okay, that's
so
why databases are so important.
And
understanding data as well.
100%.
And then what makes things
guest needs to introduce.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Sorry, let's get an introduction
That's
and
okay.
an update.
And an
What do you want me
overview.
to
Can you give the viewers an overview of what you do and who you are?
So I'm Bronte. I would say I'm an OnlyFans model. Some people say content creator, but I think that's a bit. It's not really right. I've always done social media, like influencing kind of style, but not to the point of the extent of OnlyFans earnings. It's not. It's the same as what you said. Like I enjoy doing, like dressing nicely and the influencer style, but at the end of the day, that's not what earns you the money. Like unless you've just come out of Love Island in 2016, like you're not gonna earn that type of money.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So is it? So it's financially what steered you towards actual OnlyFans?
What do you mean?
Like
The
you said that
financial gain.
Yeah. You started off just wanting to do like influencing kind of thing.
So I went to dance college and dance uni, and then OnlyFans came out in about, I think it was 2016.
Yeah.
I was at dance uni at that point, and I just started posting dancing videos on there because it wasn't the platform that it is today.
Okay.
And yeah, I just kind of went with the flow, and then obviously it sort of exceeded into deeper and deeper explicitity because that's what it was then getting known for, and you either moved with the platform or you left it.
Okay.
So I just decided to obviously move with it, but stick with my sort of girl next door, as you would say, vibe, because that is me. Obviously, a lot
That's
of
your
people,
brand. Yeah.
a lot of people do make up a brand. However, I like being real with subscribers, and I feel like that's why I've always had that personal connection and touch differently to maybe other girls, because I'm not actually pretending, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Was you when you was dancing? Did you make money on the platform then?
I did, yes, but it was much for like fun. Like you was maybe making $1,000. Like
a
you
hobby.
you can't live off that, obviously. It was fun, but no one knew what the platform was for. I think it was like promoted for influencers, chefs, and it was all things like that. I don't even think glamour was even on there as a list.
Yeah.
So when did it start to change? Like
I would honestly say like 2019. It started to change, and then
Lockdown
obviously-
times, isn't it?
Yeah, and then like COVID and that happened.
Yeah.
So obviously, everyone jumped on the platform, and that's sort of when you saw the spike from 2019 to 2020. It was then going up in big jumps. So yeah, obviously it worked in a benefit for us, but not as a benefit as so many people then joined the platform. So you've then
More competitors. Yeah.
much more competitors.
So the whole OnlyFans thing and it being a business for you, is it a thing that's just controlled by you, or is it a team effort?
No, it's me. Yeah, that's one thing that I've always sort of tried to stay adamant to holding myself with. Is I've always wanted to run it myself. Like there's a lot of management that's out there, which is great, and it does help girls actually sustain normality to their life, because you do lose that, and you do lose like a sense of mental state, because it is a 24/7 thing, and you need to still like eat and sleep and stuff. But some subscribers don't get that because they're on pages that are constantly speaking to you, like sending you messages, but it's not you, it's not them. Do you know what I mean?
So what about you actually creating a team?
As in, could I create a team?
Yeah, like could it?
Like
does it,
using virtual assistants and
I'm
stuff?
just thinking 50,000
Yeah.
subscribers.
Yeah, you could create a team realistically, but it's not hard for me to say, send out a message, like just literally type out a sentence, send it to expired subscribers, and then it sometimes, like, OnlyFans is such an awful run in the background platform, like the amount of money they're pumping in, but they're not spending it out to make the platform better. Like the runnings of it isn't great, so sometimes it could take 4 hours to send one message.
why?
Because it just doesn't cope. Like the platform just doesn't cope.
Oh, it won't
Demand.
send.
Yeah, but it doesn't cope. And like there's so many girls who started like a thing called free trial, where they come in for free, so they can see all of your content for free straight away. And
man's binge it.
Yeah, but you're getting them in, which is great. So you're literally letting them in the door. So you're letting them in the club for free, but then they're charging you the drinks.
Okay.
But once you've got them in the door, it's fine. But then when they send out a mass message to the expired, theirs is going to like 400,000, whereas little old me is just going to 50.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what's crashing the site for smaller paid pages.
You know what I have heard about OnlyFans as well is they're kind of limited to who they can go to because of the content. So like their payment services, only some people will accept it. Like they can't just say just go to like a standard They might be with PayPal, but say PayPal said, "Oh, we can't touch that."
Yeah.
And then like the servers as well.
Yeah.
Some servers will say we're not really hosting that kind of stuff on it.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the reasons why they can't level up.
That's one thing that I found as a negative. Like with OnlyFans becoming such a big platform, it's great for obviously me being on it because it's making it more known to like worldwide. However, like payment processors like PayPal, like mine got shut down in last year, I think it was, or the year before, because they were seeing money coming in. They sort of think, well, what are you doing? Where's this money coming from? Yeah. And a lot of people don't like the fact that it says OnlyFans on your bank.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it didn't used to say that. Why have they suddenly put that there?
It messes with mortgages as well.
Yeah, because it essentially comes down as well as like gambling, because it's like an addiction, as what some mortgage brokers see it as.
What for the person who's spending the money?
Yeah, not the person who's earning the money, but the person who's spending, like say if they're constantly spending like £100-200 a day.
Like, kind of looking at it as like dirty money kind of thing then.
Some people see it as that,
It's mad still.
Crazy.
Well, it can be seen as an addiction, really, basically, and if you are spending that much, I don't know, because I ain't spending that, but you know,
Yeah.
What does scaling look like?
What, as in like the growth?
Yeah.
So like
what does scaling look like to you?
Like how well I've sort of jumped up in, is that?
Like
How
if you
do
were
you
to,
jump up? How do you 10x what you're doing? How do you go to the next level? What is the next level?
I would just say you branch out on social medias. Like some people, like in our industry, you have like Telegram or you've got social media. I've always been very social media based, whereas there's a lot of girls who've done really well and in £80,000+ a month, and they're not even on social media, but all of their earnings are from Telegram. And the two types of people are very, very different.
When you say Telegram, what do you mean? Like
the app, obviously Telegram, there's like different rooms. So you would like sort of like buy promo from other girls and promotes to say if I wanted to get in more American subscribers, the only way I could get more American subscribers is by sort of appealing to that market. And other than physically going there or going on a podcast or something, I couldn't branch out to American people.
So is that to you, does that seem like is that like basically you've got a big audience on OnlyFans, you're growing, you're trying to take them off OnlyFans now and bring them onto Telegram? Is that what it is?
Some people do that, yes, or they get them from Telegram then to obviously OnlyFans. But it's with me being social media, I try and get mine from like organic growth from Instagram to then get them onto OnlyFans. But it is American is quite hard to get them across, but it is a bigger market, so that's the next step really for me, is branching over to a different continent and such.
You know what's funny about that? When we're just talking about markets, the Asian markets are way bigger, and I think people neglect them. Yeah. Because like some of the biggest artists in the world, Asia, Africa, China, India, like they're way bigger than any of our markets.
But are they more likely?
They're making the majority.
No, but you know what? Potentially though, like
South
the best thing you can do is learn a few. Or with AI now, you can like convert what you're saying into their language, and if you can appeal to their market,
then you've
smashed
done it.
You absolutely smashed it. Like that's when sometimes you see
like with Mr. Beast's videos, isn't it?
Yeah, you see like Western artists go to like Europe or India or and like they'll learn just enough for that tune. Like you might see Future on a tune. Like I heard a Burna Boy tune and Moose Walla tune the other day. I've never heard it in my life. It's a banger though. And I was thinking, I bet he made the most of that tune he's ever made. You know what I mean? Because it's a much bigger market. Yeah. So
how do you convert? So like, let's say if they're on Instagram, how do you get them to go from Insta to?
It is very much a bit like breadcrumbs. Like you can't make them. You can bring a what's it called, like horse to water, but
Because that's the same with the podcast. Converting people from Instagram to YouTube is a task. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you obviously depending on how fire the content is. Like sometimes it's an easy one, but I don't know, the ratio still probably doesn't match up.
Doesn't match.
Yeah, it's the same though with like Instagram followers. Like people who've got hundreds of thousands of followers, they don't match with their likes. For example, it's very similar to that.
Yeah,
like
working on the engagement.
Yeah.
What do you think that is?
Why it doesn't convert? I just think people won't go if they don't want to go there. Do you know what I mean? And some people just genuinely, like regarding OnlyFans, they just don't want to pay. Like they just don't feel as if they're they're like unworthy of paying. But then they'd still sort of big you up and say, oh yeah, I want to see this, I want to see that, but then
For free.
Like why would I do that? I'm not stupid. Do you know what I mean?
I think this is a question for everyone. Do you not think that, because my theory on it is to get a higher engagement, you need to interact with people more.
Yes.
People like interaction. So take the podcast, for example. We have loads of clips. The clips are fire, but it's not actually anyone talking to the consumer or nothing like that. So where I think that we're missing a trick in terms of getting people to go from Instagram to the YouTube is actually interacting on the platform, whether it be through lives or doing stories where I'm just on there. I find
talking, stories are really beneficial. Yeah. Really beneficial. Like even if you don't post once a day, like just posting on your story like a good 3 to 5 times a day, just what you're doing, I just really think helps, especially coming as like a influencer style and like a day in the life kind of style. It really does help. Just people sort of feel you a bit more.
Just like we've just come into this room, no one doesn't really know anything from Adam, and we've done no content. You get what I'm saying? Like realistically, we could have done so much better to promote the show by entering the building.
Do it now.
Okay, let's get it.
Do it now, man.
So, going back to Speedy's original question, which was what does scaling look like to you?
Right
and,
now,
you said, doing social media and stuff like that.
Yes.
Is that what this podcast run is about for yourself then, like coming onto platforms like this?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to branch out into podcasts and things like that. Like with me, I'm not, as much as you expose your body on OnlyFans, it's very different to actually being in a communicative scenario. Like OnlyFans is very, what's the word? Like you're by yourself constantly, and it is very, very lonely. And I don't think people understand how secluded you are, and it's very hard sort of getting yourself to the point where you're like, no, the only place for me to actually branch out is by putting myself physically out there more, and it gets across your personality a lot more, which is what I wanted to show. Because yes, you see me in underwear and you see me doing this and that, but I like doing that, yes, because I do it for a job. However, there is more to just a body, and I feel like some people aren't like that. Like some people don't care about what people think of them, but I just think you can't judge what someone does for work. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If that makes sense.
So that's kind of like why I asked what the scaling looks like, like for you, and is there a team? Because essentially, what I'm hearing is that you like to be in. You want to be in the business of making content, not so much OnlyFans. I mean, it might be something that does interest you, but it's not your sole purpose to be doing that kind of thing.
Like I definitely want to branch out into different avenues, such as like down the line in like maybe 3 years time, like going into like maybe HMOs and like rentals and stuff like that.
But the money has to be right.
Yes, and I don't want to just. I know you've got to try stuff, but like I'm very skeptical about money because I started OnlyFans when I was 18. Like I'm now 24, and you feel very
used to that money.
Yeah, but you feel very like people don't take into consideration. Like some girls are, oh yeah, I make so much money. This is all fun and all games, but realistically, like it is very overwhelming. And unless you have someone at your beck and call to speak about what you should be doing with it, you'll be very silly. Like when people win the lottery and they just blow it all, and then they're going back to being like a bingman.
You need mentors and advisors around you.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, and I don't think girls and boys coming into the industry don't realise how serious you can like lose it if you don't take it seriously.
So who did you go to?
I luckily went to my parents about it. They don't necessarily like what I do because it isn't, they're quite religious, and I come from a very sort of normal background. People go to work and blah, blah, blah. And they thought I was going down the dancing route. Do you know what I mean? I was at dance uni and so on. However, dancing and glamour modelling is a very close-knit industry. So, luckily I was able to go to them because otherwise it would have just sort of slowly gone out my wallet. Do you know what I mean?
It's interesting you say that because I can understand how it may have been a difficult conversation initially, but I can imagine girls not having that
Yes.
is what really does actually send them
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, it does.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Why don't you look into setting up a mentorship program?
Well, yeah, I did start coaching back in 2020 because so many girls, that was when it sort of boomed. Loads of girls were coming on the platform and saying, oh, I knew that you started the industry like back in 3 years ago, and obviously from 2020. And I wanted to reach out to you because I can see that you've got this, like, stereotypically, you've got this lifestyle, you've got this car, you're going on this holiday, and I want to live that lifestyle as a sort of influencer look. That's what they look at, and that's why they start the industry. But I didn't go into the industry knowing I was going to earn this money is what's different. Whereas people coming in it now, they're like, well, I want to earn that. But if you go in thinking, like, for example, with HMOs and stuff, I'm looking at it like, wow, like, I'd love to do that. But I know that it doesn't work out for everyone. However, people go into this industry thinking, well, I've got boobs, I've got a vagina, or I've got a willy. Like, I can do it, but it's not like that. And I think people need to be educated on that because they really don't.
So why did you stop?
Why did I start? Because it weren't like that.
Now, why did you stop the mentoring?
Oh, I didn't stop. I still do it.
Okay.
But it's just not as sort of focus, no.
So maybe that's something that you could grow
scale
and
on.
Yeah, people have said that because I did enjoy doing it and I do like helping people.
Yeah.
Like, I do get like not a thrill from it, but do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm benefiting someone.
I think potentially that's what everyone wants to do when it comes to social media, isn't it? Like, you have your business, you have your service or whatever you offer, and then you want to be able to sell the process of doing it. As another revenue stream.
Yes.
Also, it's going to help out. It's going to
help build yourself as well because you'll
build you and others as well. You're giving out free advice. Well, not free advice. You're giving out advice, like, or a template to how you see it being done. And obviously, like, you seem like you got a good head on you in terms of, from the words that you said, holding money, knowing where you want to be in a few years' time and all them things. A lot of females ain't going to have that kind of attitude. So maybe even just marketing the mentoring program or something where you can give training towards what you're doing with your finance to a specific market, which is your own. Maybe that's what scaling looks like for you.
Yeah. I think it's just scary, like with me, like talking openly about sort of money, because I don't want them to think that because you can earn that much, you can, but I don't want to like give you false hope. And
but it's not. I don't think it's so much about because they could already be earning the money. They just don't know what to do with it.
It's the guidance.
You get it. It's the guidance within. Okay, you've already took this step in life. Let me give you a path, what you can, work towards, so you don't have to actually either do this for life if you don't want to, and you can also start other businesses or go down different paths.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Is there any data on how long people last on OnlyFans, or is it like a 5-10 years or?
I believe that, as in like how long OnlyFans keep their data for.
No, like how long someone's career lasts on there.
I can imagine.
Oh God, I don't know, but I do have.
New, really.
Yeah, I do have friends who are like the older sort of, like 35 to say 45, who are on there, and they make so much money because it's a completely different market. As in, for me, it would go from girl next door to MILF as such. But it's just dependable if you would like to carry that on when you've got other things in the background you need to do, including children, maybe.
Is it a stepping stone for yourself then, or is it a long-term career?
I really don't know. If the money continued and to grow, then great. Like, I'd be stupid to stop it. I really would. But I just think you don't want to carry something on if it doesn't make you happy anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I wasn't happy doing it when I was 30, then I'd stop. I wouldn't carry on just because. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
The reason why I'm personally asking you that is because if you didn't see the episode that just went where you had China and Bruce, total ends of the spectrum, one car, one more hype. Yeah. Both got different ideologies on relationships. One guy is open to having open relationships. The other one's like, no, sorry.
One person. Yeah.
And all that.
Did you see that?
No. But ultimately,
I saw clips of it.
Yeah, that was a big episode. It's on like, it's done like 20K views plus, and it's still going.
I'll have a look.
You get what I'm saying? But if you was to monetize that and the people on the platform was to make money, because after the show, people was a bit upset. It was kind of just a bit upset. I'm saying, bro, like.
Why? We won't go into that, man. Just leave them alone.
From a business standpoint, explain to me.
Okay, but it's not. I'm not going to go into the personals. I'm just saying, like, there was personal issues between the two people.
Okay.
It was kind of brought to light on the podcast. You get what I'm saying? Like, when you look at the comments are going to be telling you, oh, this person was right, that person was right. That can get to people a bit, and it can get a bit overwhelming.
What were they expecting though? Because they both came on the show, and had problems with each other.
So they knew each other before.
Yeah.
So when you're asking me
One
what
girl
they're
sitting in the
expecting,
middle.
what I thought they would be expecting is to build an audience.
Yeah.
Use the characters that you have
Yeah.
and monetize from them. So I don't know what they're expecting.
But they're focused more on each other.
It sounded like one of them wasn't expecting it to go down that far, maybe.
Yeah.
The one who was maybe more shy.
Yeah, exactly that. But ultimately, I'm trying to convince him, bro, that was a great show. Like,
Yeah,
you don't,
well done.
Yeah, very well done. And I'm saying, forget everyone else. Nobody gives an actual crap about your lot's business of what you're saying. He said it on the podcast. It made a great show.
Yeah.
It's time for you to monetize from that.
Yeah.
Now he's actually a life coach. Now he's a life coach.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, you've drawn in all these followers off this one episode. Some
life
of them are going to
coaching,
agree with you, or they're going to agree with your path in life. All it takes is for you to sell them a product or a service.
Yeah.
And you're getting yourself in a better position.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So,
You know what? Just off the back of products and services, and just going back to what we were saying about niching down, so people know what to come to you for.
yeah.
Recently, I was able to sell a course for $1,000, which is a 4-week course.
Yeah.
2 Zooms and 2 physicals.
Yeah.
And basically,
you can press buttons.
just giving the people an entry into supported accommodation. And
You should have just pressed the horn since it's in the top middle.
and just like trying to do what you do. It was people that were already kind of in the industry, already have HMOs and all that kind of stuff. They already kind of know what's going on. But they just wanted to speak to someone with a bit more experience to understand, well, how have you made it less chaotic?
Yes. Yeah.
How have you kept on top of things? Because we tried it and this blew up and that fell down.
Yeah.
How do we keep it all together?
Yeah.
So for that 4-week program, I was taking through all my processes and systems that I have at this point, and it gives them a little bit more to work from. And I find that it probably even works better when someone is not at 0, when they're at 1 trying to get to 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
because then they've got understanding.
they've got some
already got
understanding.
understanding.
Yeah, we're not trying to educate someone.
Yeah.
This is
easy to
OnlyFans. This is what
convert
it's
them.
about.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, you know what I mean?
So how did you get to sell that course?
So again, because of all the material that I put out about what I do and specifically the strategy that I use in property, it was someone that I spoke to a while back that he was approached by someone about social housing and all that kind of stuff there. And he put them in contact with me, says, listen, mate, it's not what I do, but I know a guy that does. He made the connection. We spoke a little bit. I sat down with them, showed them that I was credible and I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was something else that I remembered where most of us don't ask for the money. So a lot of the times we want things, but we don't actually ask for it because we don't. It's like we're waiting for permission to ask. And it just so happened that everything lined up at the right time where I was in the right mind frame. So I said, you know what? I can actually sell you a course on this. And I already had the idea for the course, but I made it bespoke to them. So I said, you know what, how much would I want for my time to give them all this information? Really, the course could have, if I was more confident and I was further along my journey, that $1,000 course could have been 5-10 grand.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm going to say $1,000 because I know I can give you more than a grand worth of value, and you're not going to be upset by the time. So I said, all right, cool. I made the 4-week course. I got like a little outline of what I wanted to cover in that time. I used GPT to like really process it, and then we just went with it. And when I showed them the outline and I said, this is what I want and this is what you're gonna get, for them they went away. I didn't even pressure them or anything. I just, whatever happens. I've told you what it is. I've told you what I can do. It's up to you.
Yeah.
And they came back.
Yeah.
And it's working.
I feel like I give out so much advice that sometimes
I told you, everybody has to come to their own arrival at the information, bro.
No, what I'm saying that it could be sold as courses.
Oh, you can.
That issue is like knowing what you're giving out for free and what you're not.
Sell it.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is
at
the
what
culture.
point?
This is where we are now, just as humanity. That's the biggest thing you can sell is information, whether it's information you see, whether it's information you hear, music and stuff like that. Everyone is trying to monetize what they bring to the world.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, I was giving mine stuff out for free. I was constantly messaging girls back saying, look, do it like this, post like this, don't do that. And then one girl just turned around one day and was like, look, you should really sell a coaching course for it. And I was like, okay, I'll put a guide together, that. I then done like a networking room. So it's not just like giving you a guide and off you go. Like I was giving them, everyone who buys the guide is all can network with each other. And then things like Twitter engagement to boost that side of your following. It's definitely worth it because at the end of the day, your advice is worthy of payment as such.
But the question is, how do we get to do that on a higher scale or with more numbers? Because I believe everyone here can sell that.
To scale information on courses, you got to make it like a digital course.
So just like Mikey just said, the information he was putting out is leading someone who was prior already there to come back, innit? So is it a thing that you need to be more active in engagement with your social media and showing a certain thing to lead people to that course? Because if you've already got a course there now, how do you get more people on that course now? How does that look like to you, and why haven't you done that? I
found when I was much more active with, say, for example, promoting the coaching, I was getting a lot more people coming in. However, when I've stopped sort of promoting it because I'm more promoting me, then the people who was asking about it sort of whittled down a lot more.
But look at that there though, because I asked you, what does the team look like? You get what I'm trying to say? But obviously, if you're doing
one thing,
you can't do everything. And that's something that's happened to me recently as well, where you think you got everything. Because obviously, on the last podcast, I did say that, the gym just runs itself. I don't even need to be there. I'm the man. You get what I'm saying? then I go to the gym now and I'm getting problems coming left, right, and centre. You get what I'm saying? I'm acting like everything's under control. I go in there.
You know, it happens
moaning at me for this.
It happens in waves.
Yeah,
it happens sometimes. You know what? Just enjoy that moment.
Yeah, now 100%, obviously. But I was forced to have to take a step back from the gym because of other family issues. But when I was having time to go there, it's like I was stuck in still being the person that's there, if that makes sense. So I'm managing the gym, but I'm not there. Do you get what? Does that make sense? From being there all the time to being there, like virtually sometimes, So I don't have as much information, but I'm still trying to manage it the same.
Can you manage it the same like that?
Nah, because I'm not there. So things that happen on a day-to-day basis, I'm not really aware of like that. So where I was going wrong though is I don't need to be there, and the gym does run, but the way that I receive information needs to change.
It's the reporting.
Exactly. So I need to up my communications with my manager and whoever else I'm supposed to liaise with.
Do you have any like back end systems that you use, like CRM systems, to track things like maintenance issues and all those kind of things there?
Nah, not quite. Nah, okay. But I'm gonna just ordered one of those clocking in things.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's a gym around our way that's got one of them.
Yeah, same. So when employees clock in and all that, we know. Obviously, everything else about the gym.
When you said you stepped away and then there started to be problems, what sort of things are we talking about?
When I say problems, I mean like staff are having problems with other staff, or members at the gym are bringing up issues that are not getting solved. Okay. And they're small problems, things that this
is the same thing that I think this can be in any business. You might be the only one that's all right because a lot of what you do is
so low.
I don't want it to be so low.
It just comes with it. Like, why didn't you tell me? Oh, I didn't realize. I didn't see it. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, I needed to report. Like, what are you talking about?
Exactly. So that's what I'm working on right now in terms of how I'm communicating from not being there.
And that's a training thing.
What my communication looks like. You get what I'm trying to say?
It's a training thing. How do you train someone to think like you and see how you see?
And that's where the penny kind of drops, because I'm speaking to my manager, who's the manager now, and the problems that I'm having. I wrote a task list to do, and she asked me for more money.
It's like a lot.
I was like, there's not even a lot on there. It's not even a lot of work.
It's more than she was gonna do.
Obviously, the way that I see it seems like a lot of work in it, and obviously just to see it written down, it probably looks kind of daunting.
I've been through it.
Yeah, exactly. So when I've sat down and have a meeting with her,
it's the same thing. It's just broken down into steps.
She says, "Listen, you got to realize that, like, I'm not you, and my brain don't probably think as fast as yours, or whatever."
So tell you what, want more money?
I didn't think I was that fast, but you get me. But it was just simple. But sometimes you just need to communicate a bit more, and just get a better understanding. So I need to work on my communications with the people that are involved, a lot more. And more thing I need to mention, as I was on the way here, I popped to the gym quickly, and I just had someone just turned up at my gym. He was Mr. Olympian 2022 with his massive arms, like
big.
This big. So obviously thank you very much. So the Arnold competition next year in March is in Birmingham, and a lot of the American trainers, the American people in that team are going to be training at my gym.
That's big, man.
It's a big move. It's a very big move. So I'm happy for that and gas. I just needed to get that out.
No, well done. Well done. And why is it that they want to come to your gym? What is special about your gym?
I would ultimately say that it's close to the airport, to the NEC. That's where the competition is going to be.
Okay.
Location.
So just looking for
so they can get
a
it
gym
in
that's local to that.
quick.
But obviously, they've looked at my facilities. They love what's going on, and obviously the guy was a black fella, so he probably took a bit of a liking to me as well.
So you say that the gym's good enough for Mr. Olympia level athletes?
Yeah, man. It's good enough.
High quality machines and equipment.
Yeah, they loved everything about the gym. Obviously, everything is in there is brand new and hammer strength. So
yeah. They know what they're getting in it.
Yeah,
man.
So man, it's just something I'm a bit happy about that I gotta get out there. You know what I mean?
We were saying though before you that you're gonna have to probably invest in some more equipment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, to rise to their levels.
Yeah.
What does investing it in? Everyone's got everyone. If everyone wanted to step up right now, they would have to invest in something to do so.
Yeah.
What does it look like for each of us to invest in something? So for you, would that be a better camera or something like that?
Nah. I think with the studio space, it's just more materials in there, innit? So like, I'll
to change your sets.
Yeah, put more money into
More of a variety.
Yeah, more variety,
Okay.
better equipment, and it just means that I'll be able to offer a better service. You get what I'm saying? And then the other aspect to that, where I'll put my money, is then employing somebody. You get what I'm saying?
What's the feedback been so far on what you do have?
Nah, it's sick. Like, I think everyone has been pleasantly surprised with the outcomes of the photos that they've
I'm
got.
being surprised. I've been seeing them. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good thing. Like,
Definitely.
I'm glad. You get me? So, yeah, man. There's no complaints. It's just me now looking at what I've done and trying to figure out. Okay, then how do I make this more sustainable? How do I scale it up? How do I make it faster?
I think you need more content.
Yeah, I 100% need more content.
Need to see more.
Yeah, definitely know that. 100% know that. But and I said from the business perspective, it's just looking at how do I convert, people that are looking into clients, and how do I get more clients, and how do I just get it oversubscribed? Because the idea is to get people in, and then I don't want to step away, but then I can then employ somebody else to take
pressure off of you.
Yeah. So I can do more, if that makes sense.
What I would say is, if you are looking to venture out into the VA, I have a VA right now that has a bit more time spare, so I don't mind sparing her hours with you.
Yeah.
As and when you need them.
Okay.
So you can trial it, even if you said an hour a day.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah, I do because I tried the Facebook ad stuff in it, so I had to go at that. Found a guy that does them. Paid him I paid him £50, and then I put £100. No, other way around. Sorry.
On the account.
Yeah. So I've paid him 50 and then put 100 on the ads in it, and I think it worked well in the beginning, because like the way that Facebook ads work is that you kind of put it out there first, and then you look at the analytics of the demographics that are engaging with the post the most. And then you can kind of
remarket to them.
Yeah, remarket to them. But I think when that's happened, I felt like I seen a shift, and I wasn't getting as many DMs or people asking. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like, I don't know. I can't say it went well, but I can't say it went bad. But I did notice more people,
So when you got the data, you made it more targeted.
Well, the guy didn't. I didn't do it. Like the person that I've paid to take care of that, they've gave me an update on what's doing well. Then they've redirected the traffic to like a certain demographic. And I'm saying, when I've seen that happen, I kind of felt like it slowed down. You get what I'm saying? But because I've been still putting out photos, and then I'm getting people to do collaborative posts with me, it's still getting out there to like a community of people, and I can still see it growing. So I want to try it again, but I'm going to be a little bit more tactful and hands-on with redirecting the people. But I do also believe that the VA sending out emails is probably going to be better than the Facebook ads, in my opinion.
Even text messages, you can do them. I think they're quite a bit more expensive. They're like 30p a text, but
Okay.
they are good because everyone looks at their text, whereas emails, they can sometimes go into spam.
Okay.
And with adverts, I'm sure you can look, because my friend started doing a raffle company, and you can see even if someone's holding the scroll for longer than 3 seconds, you then want to promote it towards them because, say,
Yeah,
for
okay,
example,
yeah,
I
yeah.
might scroll past your advert like that. You don't want to target towards me,
deep,
whereas he might
it's
look at it for 3 seconds and think, scroll past. However, he looked at it 2 seconds longer than I did. So you would want to promote towards him more than
100.
myself.
Yeah.
I think you can do that with Facebook.
Okay.
I know it is on one of the platforms, but
Yeah, well, one of the good things is one of the photo shoots that I did, was with a guy who that's his areas of expertise, and it like marketing and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna sit down with him and have the conversation with him, and then see how he can kind of help direct me to.
Let me ask you a question. What video was you sending out on Facebook?
You know what? There was a few things that we put out there. So you want to know what's crazy? Yeah, you remember the initial video that I made? Yeah, that one is the one that's done the most, and that's on like 20,000 views. But that's not through Facebook ads. That's just through organic in it. So when we've seen that happen, I've reposted that on the Tone Set page and put Facebook ads behind that. Do you get me? But for whatever reason, that video performs the most out of all of them, and I think it's because I'm talking to the camera. And
there's that you're talking to the camera, so it's engaging and also specific.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I've seen a lot. You creative content sick. Some people would just look at it and say that's sick and that's it. But what I'm saying is,
I get you.
If your target audience is creators to use it. Hello, creators. I'm talking to you. I have a studio space for you.
I get you.
You get what I'm saying? Rather than it just be, look at this.
Make it more personalized.
I totally get that. Like I tried to do a testimonial the other day. So like I did a photo shoot with a DJ, and I've cut her body out, put her on the video, and like I've made it stylized. Like I know I can make things look good, but that's not necessarily what's going to convert to business.
Yeah.
It looks sick and you'll like it, but it doesn't mean that you have a full understanding of what the offer is. So it's more like not dumbing it down, but not trying to be as arty-farty and creative.
It's even like with cars. Like, say, for example, if Mercedes bring out a new car, it looks all really futuristic, but you can't buy that car. They're just showing what they can do. So it wants you to invest in their brand because they're like, I can do this. You can't buy it, but I can do this. So that could work within you, like sort of cutting people out and doing stuff like that with all graphics and stuff.
And just simplifying it and
And
what Speedy said in it.
I think what we're talking about now is going for that higher ticket item. Because what is you're trying to make your bread and butter selling these hours or whatever, but then what's your big ticket item? If someone says, listen, I got 10 grand to give you, what is that going to be? Because that's when all that does matter.
Well, now I know what that would be though. Like yes, I was in there yesterday and like I created a set, and the photos that came out of it, in my opinion, they're on the level to be a part of like a campaign. Or whatever in it. So I know that the capabilities are there, but like I said, I am not focused on that right now in it because I just want to know that everything's ticking over, and once it's ticking over and it's sustainable, then I can then redirect my energy into getting the bigger bags in it because the smaller bag is coming in consistently.
Yeah.
How do we balance those two aspirations? Yeah, you just want to make sure you're all right and the bread and
It's
butter's
very
covered.
hard.
The bread and
And
butter
then
and the vision.
but you still want that £1 million drop to come. So like, but you can't chase
You
two.
can't let the bread and butter keep you so busy that it takes your eyes off the vision.
Yeah.
Nah, it don't.
Because it's holding you back.
I think it's all systems and processes, basically, because, like I said,
Don't sound like you're far off.
I don't think I am. I think I'm understanding more. Like you lot have seen me. I've been a lot more frustrated in it, but I'm not feeling frustrated now. I'm feeling like
You've achieved things.
Yeah, like
things done.
Things are more clearer.
I've got a path, and I just need to see it out. My thing is this, and you know, like how you said, how do you balance the aspirations along with the bread and butter? I think the place where you will go wrong is if you're trying to do them at the same time, because that's where the frustration will come through. Because then nothing's gonna happen in it. So I've taken my eye off the bigger goal. Not my eye, but I've taken the focus off the bigger goal for now. let me stabilize myself with having this consistent income coming in, get it to a point where I can then employ somebody else to oversee it and work and do things. And once it's at that point, then I can redirect more of my energy back into the overall goal. But the thing is, it's all one hand washes the other. So like, you know, like we was talking about with data and getting in emails, and so like at the end of my photo shoot yesterday, I've done a podcast on it. So the podcast now is, once again, it's going to do more of what you said, like talking to people, them getting to see my personality. But I'm not going to put it out there. Like, I'm going to use that as the value proposition to get emails in. So if you, like, I'll put the clips out on social media and whatever, but if you want to see the full episode, you just have to subscribe to the newsletter, and then the newsletter is what will help me build. You get what I'm saying? So, but that is, it's all gonna be like one thing that washes one hand washes the other, because the photo shoot was for All White No Hype. The podcast that I did, technically it was a conversation around that, but I'm going to be using it on all my platforms. So I'm no longer just thinking like, this is that, this is that. I'm bringing it all on the one umbrella.
That's a good idea, man. You didn't tell me that before.
Nah, bro, I'm taking in what you lot are saying, and don't, you man say I'm not working, I promise you. Like,
no one ever said you wasn't working, brother. Come on.
I'm trying to do stuff in it, and rather than talking about it, I want you to see it and say, that was a good one. I'm like, yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's a heavy one.
So.
Yeah. It's simple, yeah, but like, even if we applied that to the podcast now and certain episodes, or putting the clips out first, and if you want to see the full episode, subscribe.
Well, that's what I thought when you was talking about the Instagram and the YouTube. It's like they're getting the short form content from the Instagram, but then they want to see the full episode. They have to come over to the YouTube.
It's talking about the subs though. They might be watching it on there,
but they're not subbing.
And I think that's the thing as well. You see, like, YouTube views, and just views in general, they can warp your perception. So you might get 1 million views on like a piece of content, but that doesn't mean that you've got 1 million people that actually fuck with what you're doing. Yeah. So I would rather have 10 views, but those 10 people, I actually know you mess with me, so I can sell to you now. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not saying it in a sleazy way like sell, but I can provide more value, and I can cater it towards you. And to me, after conversations we've had, even with the stuff with Rob Moore here, it's just me putting all of that together and trying to figure out a strategy of me getting to the end goal of where I'm trying to be at. And I think that what I'm trying to do now makes the most sense out of everything that I've been trying to do.
Let me ask Bronte 2 questions then. What does investment in your brand look like? Like, if you're going to put money into yourself, where are you putting it? And also, answer that one.
I would say a lot on filming. Like, I've always just filmed on my iPhone, and I've never had any negatives.
You done all that for iPhones?
Yeah, all on my iPhone. Wow. And realistically, I could get a camera. Like, I could, but I've never had any negatives about it. Do you know what I mean? And with the whole Girl Next Door vibe, they don't want it to be clipped up and look all professional and be loads of angles. They don't want that. If they want that, they'll go on porn. Like, it's... Do you know what I mean? If they want all it looking professional and shiny and really sort of crisp, they can go and see that on there. Like, I'm not filming with potato. It's still the most up-to-date phone. Like, I could just use a more invest in, like, technology as such. Or, or
would that help you though? As you just explained, it could. Would that help you? Would
that mean that you'd have to rebrand your whole image?
It could look like it has rebranded, because obviously I think you'd be able to tell. Do you know what I mean? Compared to an iPhone and a camera, you would be able to tell, but I wouldn't still want it clipped up. I would still want you to be able to see that I've pressed play and then I've sat on the sofa or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want it all clipped up looking sort of professional, as people say.
Wouldn't the better investment for you be like more than like audio podcasting then, in the sense of you like talking, doing what you're doing now, and then obviously that's going to be a way how you'll put your personality out there more, and then if you did want to go back into the mentoring thing or whatever business you want to do, that's where you'll be able to convert things, because you're just talking and showing who you are.
Would you think going on podcasts like yourselves, or doing your own sort of talking, or do you know what I mean?
Okay, and then if I was to look at your content, and to analyze based off the words that you're saying and where what space you'd like to be in, all I can see is pictures. Do you get it? So obviously now you're on a podcast journey. We can hear you talk now, and obviously you've got a you're not a dumb girl.
Okay,
you know
thank you.
And that is a perception of OnlyFans.
And that's I think that's your USP.
That's what I like. I don't want to. Yes, you can sort of do girly things or whatever you want to call OnlyFans, but like I want to branch out onto the side that you don't just judge someone for what they're taking pictures of. Do you know what I mean?
But
And
that's what I'm saying. So maybe if you mixed a lot of your content
up with podcasts, but even on your own social media, be a bit more engaging in terms of videos that you create and the content you create. More videos, more images of you in your natural form, because like.
A personality.
Even just the way appearance, like you're coming across. You're not coming across. I don't want to say sleazy.
No,
like girls
but
are
it's
coming
fine.
off sleazy. But like
and I'm glad that it comes across like that, because
like you take care of your image, and you know what I'm saying. Like there's a business element to you.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Looking at you, you wouldn't think that you do OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think
But
that.
that's what I do. I do like that because it's. For my benefit, it's always worked in my favour because they don't expect it. However, it is. That's not an act. Like I do want to wear this shirt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you actually like? Like, what's your hobbies? What are you interested in? If you was speaking on a podcast, what would you want to talk about?
What would I want to talk about, or what do I like?
What do you do in your spare time?
I do
OnlyFans.
I do jet skiing. I've got a jet ski.
What?
You've got a jet ski.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where do you use that?
Around my area. Yeah, there's like it's like probably 20 minutes from me.
Yeah, we're in the West Midlands. We don't have
I did like the idea of moving up to sort of Cheshire, Manchester way, but I don't think the sea's that close to them.
Wait, do you still dance?
Yes, I do still dance, but only as like a hobby, not professionally, which I do miss. But it's just the money's not there, but the money isn't everything. It's not.
Hobby's a hobby, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But I just think that if you was to work on your personal branding,
Yes.
I think you could steer it further away from the OnlyFans and closer to a.
I think you'd be a host.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Facts.
Definitely.
I think I'm a bit boring
Definitely.
to some people. Do you know what I mean? But that's because I'm in that industry when people are so out there and I'm like, oh my God,
No, but
I'm not like that.
No one really wants that.
Listen, first of all, you're from Essex.
Yeah.
That is relatable with the accent alone.
Okay.
Well, like personally, like I says, if I was to look at your content and read it, I'd say if you had more videos and you were speaking more, I feel like maybe you could sell more courses and
Is
get
there
more.
any videos of you? Would you jet ski? is that like something that people
I
don't
have
know?
filmed videos like just like mucking around on them,
That's
but like I
interesting.
do find when I show that sort of like I am tomboyish as much as I like makeup and do OnlyFans, like I am tomboyish in like sport and stuff, and that works in my favour again. Like I can show that, and I do find when I do the odd talking story, which is very rare, people do like it.
Why is it rare?
I just feel like an idiot.
Well, I feel like that.
Like you feel really. I like feeling personal because I like, for example, like day in the life videos. I love watching that, but I think why would someone want to know what I eat in the morning?
But
do you know what I mean?
Now you're talking about your niche, though.
Yeah.
Let me not say anything because I don't want to close off. But those are the people that are never gonna leave you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like the 50,000 followers.
They want to know what you eat
They
for
ain't going
breakfast.
nowhere.
Yeah.
They're growing up with you.
Yeah.
I think maybe like all of us need to work on
Being
content where,
personal.
talking to the camera,
Yeah.
and just giving out information. If you've got something to offer, that's only if you want to, like, you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
I feel like you lot are starting to crack it a lot more because, like you said, if you get in people that are buying your course for £1,000,
No, we're definitely. Yeah.
then maybe mixed with doing the podcast and everything else, if we're engaging with our audience a lot more, we can get a lot more out of things that we don't think that we can. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. And it enlightens you to things that were already there, but you actually rethink about it and think, oh, actually, I will carry on doing that.
'Cause you
or
know
I
who-
will push that more.
You know who's a fucking a general at doing that? That HS guy. Like, he just goes on the camera and talks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just chats.
And that's how it's always done well,
Yeah.
is by just literally grabbing a camera and being so direct.
Direct to the customer,
Yeah.
chatting shit to girls on TikTok.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then afterwards,
yeah.
it gets a big audience in.
Yeah.
And then he's always got something to sell in terms of a course. Like, you can't. That can't be overlooked.
Yeah.
That process there can't be overlooked because the overheads of doing that is very low, and it's a lot of profit, and it's essentially off just engaging.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So on the surface of it, it might just look like, oh, look at this idiot or whatever. But bro, the level of genius in it is very high because you're not having to do much in terms of work. You just need your phone.
Yeah.
You ain't even lying, bro. You're not.
You need a product to sell, which will be a course.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just backing up what you're saying because I'll spend like flipping 5 hours doing a video and get nothing from it, and a man will pick up the phone, talk, and off the back of it, there's
10 grand deep.
You get what I'm saying? So you are right in that, like just talking. You just feel like an idiot though when you pick it up. Your mind goes blank, like you don't even know what to say.
And then you said the wrong words, and it always come out funny.
Yeah.
What course would you sell?
I don't know, bro. Even on this podcast right now, like
there's a couple of things
there is a few things in it, but I don't know which one I would go
just
with.
Pick anything, man. Pick the lowest hanging thing that the most basic person can understand and do it.
Video editing.
Obviously.
That might even be too high. Taking a picture.
I feel
Start
like
low.
now I feel like that if I was to do one, mine would be how to conceptualize, like how to.
That's me already, mate.
How to how to come up with an idea. Like people ask me for things all the time, and like bam, straight away concepts. I can bang them out, bro. I could do it
Just
with my eyes closed.
in a quick summary.
Okay,
what are you talking about? What is conceptualizing?
Conceptualization. Let's say, for example, you wanted to start a podcast, but you didn't know what the podcast was going to be about. You didn't know what topics you were going to talk. You just didn't know how you was going to package it.
Let me do this another way.
Yeah.
Me, you can use me as an example.
She's thinking about it, not quite sure.
Right,
People are going to want to hear from me.
Like, I don't know everything about you anymore. But like, if you was to do a podcast, it'd be as simple as like
Lifestyle.
Yeah, lifestyle. But for example, I need us a little bit more information.
That's cool.
But let's say like you like jet skis, don't you? So like I would probably make that an aspect of it because that's aspirational. Let me take it back. Right, and how I see it, is like this. Rather than me doing it right now, because it's a recipe and it does take time. The recipe is like I take something that somebody is good at. I mix that with something that they're skilled at, and I find a cross path between those things, and I will come up with a unique thing that's different. So, for example, like if someone was a PT, but they really liked R&B music, I would then get them to conceptualize some form of PT workout that incorporates R&B, and like the name of the class would be like from an R&B song or record, and it's just conceptualizing. And then with all of these things, that means like when you start to think about your logo, the packaging, the name, the positioning, all of that, you've got something that's now unique in comparison to someone who's just a PT.
And that's R&B music in the background.
Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what I know how to do. Like anytime I come up with something, I can just do it straight away. Like it doesn't take me long.
Which is why these big brands ask you to come with concepts for their...
Well, that's what I'm building. I haven't explained this to you, so I'll keep saying it, but you don't know. So I have this content-based brand. It's called All White No Hype, and basically it is the other side to hype culture in the sense of, you know, like how Jordans and Yeezys are very popular and there's reselling. Mine is the other side of that conversation where I'm basically campaigning for people to buy into the idea of just buying the basics, and you can't get better than the classic white pair of trainers because they never go out of style. But within that concept itself, I've got loads of projects that I've done underneath the umbrella. So one of those projects is one called Please Don't Touch. So that's where I've looked at the Caribbean front room. You might not be aware of it, but you definitely have grandparents. So you know, like if you go to their house, they've got their china in the cabinet and everything's just left clean.
Yes.
I've looked at the connector between how our elders treat their front room and how we as a younger generation treat their trainers, and I've created this whole project around it. Because I'm able to do those things, I know that these are concepts that can be sold to brands, and these are the things that brands want to buy into.
Which was recently picked up by National Grid.
Yeah. So like
Size.
Yeah.
Press a bomb or something.
I don't do that for myself, man.
Game up.
Go on. This is what validates you, though.
Yeah, of course it does.
Everything you're saying is just some nice words and some nice ideas. Looks good until National Geographic and size, and these people say, actually, nah, we like this.
And they back it. So
That's
so I'm in a place where like yesterday I held a content day, but I can get in contact with Size and ask them if they can supply me with trainers for the shoot because they believe in the concept and what I'm doing. Do you get what I'm saying? So
just put my name on the corner. That's all they're gonna say.
And that's like the exchange of value because they know that they're gonna get content. They know that they're aligning themselves with something that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. But I just know how to put content together. Another example, I have a thing called 0 miles, where basically wear a pair of white trainers for like an extended period of time, and at the end of that period, I then get them cleaned, and the idea is to make them look as though they've traveled 0 miles.
Okay.
That in itself, like,
Another concept.
it's another concept, but I would do it all day.
Yeah.
I've got so many.
It's really good ideas. Like.
Yeah. So if I was to do a course, I would kind of talk about the process of how you do that.
Yeah.
And then sell it.
How you start that idea and then
yeah,
sell it and get people like.
But are you
Size
selling
to-
that as a service? Selling concepts?
He's not there yet.
Wow.
He's trying to work on his bread and butter.
Yeah, it's all a process, innit? But like, I will get to it because essentially, bro, everything that I do is, like I said, it's all kind of like one hand washes the other. So the idea with the studio, remember, the reason why I'm saying you can have different materials to make your own sets is for you as a person to bring your ideas to life through a conceptual way of materials and whatever is in the studio space. And that's why it's called Tone Set Studios. Set the tone of how you want the studio to look, so it reflects the message that you're trying to get across in the content that you're making in the space. You get what I'm saying? And that's just how my brain works with anything that I kind of think about. You get me? So, yeah, if I was to do a course, it would be that, because it's just the process that I follow for everything that I do.
Just wanted to ask you something that popped up. It seems like everything you do is centered around yourself. Do you ever worry that something, God forbid, will slow you down, happen to you where that's it?
I do always worry, like, especially with OnlyFans, it's based on your image at the end of the day. And say when I get down the line when I want to have children, because it is something that I would want, that's something that I'm needing to stop. Because it's not like you go on maternity leave and stuff like that, like you still have to keep on working. But I'd say other than that, there isn't really much why you'd sort of want to stop, or if something was to happen. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
How do you create something that doesn't stop though, that lasts? Like, while you've got it here, while you've got this energy, how do you create something that will just serve you forever? Or
that doesn't rely on you yourself. Like, it could still be running while you went on holiday or while you had a baby. Or
it is hard when you don't know any different and it has only solely been you, and your image is what makes you money, like I've said. So the only thing that I could really think is just by having a team and then being able to manage it on my behalf when I'm maybe needing that time, or just branch out into something that isn't my image, branching out into a completely different avenue, because that's not something that I'm not
which is managing
to do.
finances through OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So would you become a manager of other?
I think I would enjoy that, And I am very, like, even like a personal assistant, like a PA, like I'm very structured, and I know where I want things and when something needs to be done. And I do think that I could fulfill a role like that, and I would really enjoy it, because it is still within a sector of my industry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this has been a great convo.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
that you've definitely kind of debunked the stereotype of what people perceive OnlyFans girls to be.
Well, no. She's just not one of them, but
Cool.
Thank you for having me.
No worries, man. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming, definitely, 100%.
Wicked.